January 2020, a brand new airline called Starlux Airlines took to the skies from Taipei City with exactly 2 aircraft and a handful of regional routes. Fast forward to today, and Starlux operates 5 destinations across the United States, with Phoenix having launched in January 2026. It's ordered 18 Airbus A350-1000 widebody aircraft. But here's what makes absolutely no sense. Taiwan is an island of 24 million people. Japan, with over 5 times that population, sustains just 2 major long-haul carriers, JAL and ANA. Yet, somehow, tiny Taiwan supports not 2, but now 3 independent airlines flying long-haul routes across the Pacific: China Airlines, EVA Air, and now Starlux Airlines. All 3 are aggressively expanding their North American networks. All 3 are ordering billions of dollars worth of new widebody aircraft. The numbers defy conventional aviation economics. So, how can an island smaller than Switzerland sustain 3 competing long-haul carriers when larger nations struggle with 2? And perhaps more importantly, is this sustainable? Or is Taiwan's aviation market headed for an inevitable consolidation? To understand, you need to understand a family feud that rivals any corporate drama in aviation history. Chang Kuo-wei built Evergreen Marine into one of the world's largest container shipping companies. In 1989, he founded EVA Air with a simple vision: create an airline that could compete with the best in the world, not just serve Taiwan's domestic needs. EVA Air became exactly that. It introduced what is widely credited as the world's first premium economy cabin in 1992. It maintained a spotless safety record when competitors struggled. It joined Star Alliance and built a reputation as one of Asia's finest carriers. When Chang Kuo-wei died in January 2016, he left behind a will that named his youngest son, Chang Kuo-wei, as sole heir and successor to lead the Evergreen Group. There was just one problem. Chang Kuo-wei was born to the founder's second wife. His 3 older half-brothers, all from the first marriage, controlled the board through combined voting power. In what Taiwanese media dubbed the Prince Hamlet drama, the brothers used their board majority to oust Chang Kuo-wei entirely. The man their father had chosen to lead the Evergreen Group was removed from the company within months of the funeral. Most people would have retreated. Chang Kuo-wei did the opposite. After a years-long battle, Taiwan's Supreme Court ruled in August 2024 that Chang Kuo-wei was indeed the sole heir to his father's fortune, granting him approximately $437 million. But he didn't wait for the courts. He created Starlux Airlines, explicitly positioning it as a luxury boutique carrier designed to suppress EVA Air in every measurable way. This wasn't just business, this was personal. Taiwan's 3-carrier market doesn't survive on domestic traffic. The island is too small. You can drive from Taipei to Kaohsiung in 4 hours. Instead, these airlines survive by exploiting Taiwan's geographic position as a transit hub between North America and Southeast Asia. Taipei Taoyuan International Airport sits at the perfect midpoint. Passengers flying from Los Angeles or San Francisco to Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh City, Manila, or Singapore find that connecting through Taipei often provides the shortest total journey time. This matters because transit passengers represent pure revenue that doesn't depend on Taiwan's population. Whether Taiwan has 23 million residents or 50 million, the geographic advantage remains unchanged. Russian airspace closures have only strengthened this position. Flights from Asia to North America now face longer routing, making connections through other hubs less competitive. Taiwan, located further south, was never as dependent on Russian overflight rights for trans-Pacific routes. Hong Kong's decline has accelerated the shift. International airlines have reduced capacity into Hong Kong, pushing more transit traffic through alternative hubs. Taipei used the opportunity to grow its market share. Geography alone doesn't explain Taiwan's aviation success. The real secret lies in cargo holds. Taiwan dominates global semiconductor manufacturing. TSMC produces over 90% of the world's most advanced chips. When Apple, Nvidia, or AMD need processors, they come from Taiwanese foundries. This creates an extraordinary revenue floor for Taiwanese airlines. Even when passenger yields fluctuate with economic cycles, the belly cargo on North American routes remains consistently full of high-value semiconductor shipments. Unlike tourism-dependent carriers that suffer when travelers stay home, Taiwanese airlines benefit from export demand that continues regardless of passenger preference. The AI revolution has only intensified this advantage. Every ChatGPT query, every AI-generated image, every large language model training run requires chips manufactured in Taiwan and shipped on Taiwanese aircraft. All three Taiwanese carriers are expanding their North American networks at a pace that defies conventional wisdom about market saturation. EVA Air dominates with 80 weekly flights to North America, commanding 50% of the Taiwan-US frequencies. It serves Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Houston, Chicago, New York JFK, and Dallas. China Airlines maintains approximately 20% market share and has added frequencies to the US specifically to counter Starlux's entry. Starlux has moved fastest recently. Since launching long-haul operations, it's added Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Ontario, California, and most recently, Phoenix, which began service in January 2026. Are these routes profitable? If the carriers continue operating them, the simple answer is yes. While North America drives volume, Starlux is diversifying with a calculated European expansion designed to reduce reliance on a single market. On August 1st, 2026, Starlux will launch its first European route, Taipei to Prague. The service will operate 3 times weekly initially, increasing to 4 frequencies by October. Prague seems like an unusual choice for a carrier's European debut. It's not a major financial center like London or Frankfurt. It's not a massive connecting hub like Amsterdam or Paris. The route taps strong tourist demand. Prague ranks among the most popular European destinations for Taiwanese travelers seeking cultural experiences beyond typical Western European capitals. Starlux will operate the route with A350-900 aircraft configured with first-class suites, business class, premium economy, and economy. This puts Starlux in direct competition with China Airlines, which launched Taipei-Prague service in July 2023. The two carriers will split roughly 50% of the capacity, each on the route. Early skeptics predicted Taiwan couldn't sustain 3 carriers. When Starlux announced its plans in 2018, analysts forecast brutal fare wars that would force the weakest player into bankruptcy. That hasn't happened. EVA Air reported consolidated net profit of $220.1 million in the first half of 2025. China Airlines posted $283.8 million in net profit for the same period, driven by strong passenger demand and stable cargo yields. Starlux turned profitable faster than anyone expected. In H1 2025, it reported a net profit of $102 million. This, for an airline that only launched 5 years earlier and suspended most routes within weeks of inauguration due to COVID-19, is impressive. The profitability stems from 3 factors working in combination. First, high load factors across all 3 carriers indicate demand exceeds current capacity. Airlines aren't stealing passengers from each other, they're serving incremental demand that previously connected through other hubs. Second, cargo revenue provides downside protection. Even if passenger yields compress, semiconductor and AI-related cargo maintains margins. Third, fleet efficiency has improved dramatically. Starlux operates exclusively young A350s and A330neos. EVA and China Airlines are modernizing with 787s and A350s, lowering fuel costs per available seat mile. Global airline alliances provide critical traffic feed that enhances sustainability for all 3 carriers. EVA Air belongs to Star Alliance, partnering with United Airlines on trans-Pacific services. This allows EVA to offer connections to hundreds of US domestic destinations beyond its own gateway cities. China Airlines joins SkyTeam, aligning with Delta Airlines and KLM. This partnership drives traffic on routes like Taipei-Amsterdam, where KLM and China Airlines cooperate closely. Starlux? They operate as an independent carrier, but not for long. Starlux executives have long teased plans to apply for One World Alliance membership by late 2025, with potential entry by 2026 or 2027. One World's existing members include American Airlines, Cathay Pacific, Japan Airlines, and Qantas. Joining One World would plug a significant gap. The alliance currently has no member based in Taiwan, forcing passengers booking through One World partners to connect through Hong Kong, Tokyo, or other hubs to reach Taipei. The path isn't guaranteed. Cathay Pacific, a founding One World member based in Hong Kong, represents a direct competitor for transit traffic. If Starlux gains One World membership, it would transform from a regional competitor into a globally integrated carrier capable of feeding traffic from 3 continents. Starlux's strategy differs fundamentally from typical startup airlines that compete on price. Instead, it's positioned itself at the luxury end of the market, directly challenging carriers like Singapore Airlines and Cathay Pacific for premium passengers. The airline collaborated with BMW Design Works on cabin interiors. Business class features lie-flat beds with direct aisle access. First class offers private suites with doors. Catering partnerships with Michelin-starred restaurants provide dining experiences that passengers specifically seek out when choosing carriers. This premium-heavy configuration, it means Starlux earns more revenue per aircraft than a carrier operating high-density economy layouts. A Starlux A350-900 carries 306 passengers across 4 classes. The same aircraft in a low-cost configuration might seat 400. Starlux accepts lower total capacity in exchange for higher yields per passenger. With the delivery of its first A350-1000, it will expand this strategy. Each aircraft will feature 40 business seats, 36 premium economy, 270 economy, and 4 first-class suites. The larger variant increases capacity while maintaining the premium ratio. All 3 carriers are investing heavily in new aircraft, signaling confidence in continued market growth. Starlux has 18 A350-1000s on order, alongside additional A330neos, A321neos, and A350F cargo variants. At the June 2025 Paris Air Show, the airline signed for 10 more A350-1000s, bringing total orders for that variant to 18. EVA Air placed firm orders for 6 A350-1000s and 3 A321neos in 2025 alone. The carrier is systematically replacing older 777s with more efficient widebodies, including the 787. In late 2025, China Airlines confirmed orders for 5 A350-1000, taking its total to 15 A350-1000s, which will complement its A350-900s. It also has orders for the 777-9 and 787s. Combined, Taiwan's 3 carriers have committed billions of dollars to fleet renewal over the next decade. This isn't the behavior of airlines preparing for a market contraction. Taiwan's 3-carrier model isn't guaranteed to survive indefinitely. Several factors could disrupt the current equilibrium. Cross-strait tensions represent the most significant uncertainty. Relations between Taiwan and mainland China affect everything from route access to passenger confidence. Any military escalation would immediately impact travel demand. Capacity normalization between the US and China presents another risk. Currently, Chinese airlines face regulatory restrictions in the US limiting their trans-Pacific services. If that capacity returns, Chinese carriers could offer lower fares that pressure Taiwanese airline yields. Labor costs continue rising across the industry. All 3 carriers have faced work actions in recent years, including a major China Airlines pilot strike and EVA Air cabin crew walkouts. Future disputes could disrupt operations at critical moments. Fuel price volatility affects all airlines, but cargo-heavy carriers face particular exposure when jet fuel costs spike while shipping demand remains constant. Taiwan's aviation market contradicts every assumption about consolidation being inevitable. Where Japan and Korea have moved toward fewer, larger carriers, Taiwan supports 3 profitable airlines, competing intensely for passengers and cargo. As long as passengers need to connect between North America and Southeast Asia, Taiwan offers the shortest path. As long as AI companies need chips manufactured by TSMC, Taiwanese cargo holds will remain full. The question isn't whether Taiwan can sustain 3 long-haul carriers, it already has. The question is whether the rest of the aviation industry will recognize that the old rules about market consolidation don't apply everywhere. Sometimes geography, technology, and personal ambition combine to create markets that shouldn't exist, but do anyway. In Taiwan's case, the 3-carrier model isn't just surviving. By every financial measure, it's thriving. Hey, before you go, the YouTube algorithm thinks you're going to like this video next, so why not check it out?